Hi guys, welcome back to episode 9 of Geography Explained Online. We are stepping outside of the realm of geography for today to bring you the 8 best tips to help you smash your exams.
8 top tips, some might say. Have you ever felt yourself nervous before an exam? Have you ever felt that you weren't ready, weren't prepared? Have you ever felt an impending sense of doom thinking about an exam that you've got to do coming up soon? Well, this might be the video for you.
We have a bunch of teachers joining us today from a whole heap of faculties. They're going to show you ways that you can maximise your success this exam period.
And in true episode 9 fashion, in the theme of Game of Thrones, just watch out because one main character may die. Okay guys, here is tip number 1 of our 8 top study tips. It is be organised with your study notes. And to explain exactly how is everyone's favourite English teacher / Harry Potter fan, Miss Wakeman.
Hi everybody. Now, for being organised for your study notes, I know that a lot of you would be really overwhelmed with the amount of content that you have. A lot of you are doing 5 or 6 subjects in one go. So I'm here to offer you a really easy strategy in order to get yourselves organised and to maximise your time before an exam. So we're going to talk about the Cornell Notes method today. So you can find a lot more about this Cornell Notes method in the down bar below, but essentially what we would ask you to do to organise your notes is, along the left-hand side, you might have some syllabus dot points, you might have some key content that you need to cover from a particular text or a particular unit. But in English, we often look at our ideas. So that's why we have our ideas represented in the text here. Then we move over to the right-hand side where we need to provide a little or short explanation of techniques or evidence from the text, particularly in English. If you're in a different subject, you might have some key summaries or some key evidence or anything that might address that dot point here. Now, you can use as much space as you want here, and it's up to you how you choose to organise it because it's going to respond well to your brain. The most important thing down the bottom is that you need to be able to summarise what you need to understand from that content point based on your evidence, based on the notes that you have provided. And then here's an example of how it might look like for maths. So you can see they've put the topic up here, they've put some specific main ideas they need to cover, and the notes they needed to take. And down the bottom, they provided a summary as well. And here's a completed one for English. This one actually has the question, a potential essay question, and ideas along the side, as well as techniques and analysis here. Towards the summary, we have an ultimate level of analysis that we would expect in English. This is a really versatile strategy that anybody can use.
Tip 2
Of 8 top tips
is know how to find what you need to succeed.
That's a great one, Samantha. Well done.
Thanks.
So, have you ever thought, I'd like to prepare for this exam, but I don't know where to go? One of the absolute go-to places is past HSC papers. They are absolute gold in terms of preparing for an exam because they will give you the exact type of questions that you would expect in your exam yourself.
So let me show you how to find them. Do some past exams, give them to your teacher, get some feedback. Tip 2.
Okay, so what we're going to do is come to Google, and really easy search term is past HSC papers. Put that in, and right up top you're going to find the Education Standards Authority, known as NESA. And if you scroll through, you can see all of the different subjects that are available for HSC. So we're going to click on Geography, and you can see they've got all the different exam packs. So we're going to choose 2018, and you come down here, you can see there's the exam paper, which if you click on that one, it's going to give you the entire paper from that year from HSC. And if you go down as well, you can get marking guidelines. So that's going to give you all of the answers. So you can actually go through and mark your own ones as well. But it's really good to give those to your teacher and get some feedback from those once you've done them.
Tip number 3 is make sure you answer every single question every single time. And to tell us why that's important, I'm joined with Mr. Werts.
Hey there guys, so make sure in all of your tests and exams you answer every single question because we want to give you every single mark that we personally can, and to do that we need you to answer every single question. Whether that means looking at all the questions at the start of the test to see which ones you can do first that you definitely know the answer to, so that you can leave the other ones that you might not know quite as much at the end to make sure that you answer every single question. And of course, multiple choice.
Yes, always answer every single multiple choice question. If you don't know the answer, try and have an educated guess. But if you still don't know the answer, just pick any way. Some people go for the longest answer, some people always pick C. Whatever it is, do something, okay?
Definitely. So, next exam and test we want to see from you, every single question answered. Thanks guys.
Thanks, Mr. Werts.
Thank you.
Tip number 4, know your examples.
I'd probably go on about this more in class than any other thing, but you have to have specific examples to support your ideas. This is in geo in particular, but really every subject is the same. If you're going to mention something in general, you have to support it with a specific example, whether it be a suburb, whether it be a name, whether it be a date in legal studies, for example, whether it be like a court case or a bit of legislation. You have to have examples. As well, and this sort of goes with that, have a number. Have a number for each paragraph. Whether that be a stat, the date, a population number, a percentage. If you can use very specific data and statistics to support your examples as well, then you're going to write a good paragraph in your essays. So we're back with top tip number 5 of our 8 exam top tips, which is from The Lion King. Be prepared! To discuss how to be prepared is everyone's favorite English teacher, Miss McEntyre.
Hi guys, welcome to my classroom. Today I'm going to be talking about the importance of having a solid study timetable that you implement from the beginning of the year. Especially important in the senior subjects, just to make sure that you're covering everything and that you're not becoming too overwhelmed and anxious before your exams come up. The first thing that I really want to point out is that it's really important to have a work-life balance. Many of you have part-time jobs that you need to account for. Many of you also play sport that you need to account for. But it's also really important to leave time to relax and to wind down. The best way that I find to study would be to do different subjects in small chunks so that you're making summaries or doing past papers in small amounts of time, which mean that you don't lose focus, and making sure that you have small breaks between each subject. I think if you follow something like this, you're less likely to become too stressed out just before your exams.
Tip number 6, make sure you know your verbs. Key verbs are really important to make sure you answer the question correctly. So to tell us a bit more about them, we've joined with Mr. West.
Hello, Miss Coburn. Students, not only do you need to know your key terms, as Miss Coburn has said, you also need to know your syllabus and know it very well. Once you know your syllabus very well, then you need to do what those directive or key terms say.
So key terms include things like identify, discuss, list, assess, evaluate. To see how well he knows his key verbs, we're going to give Mr. West a little bit of a test now. So, Westy, what does it mean if you are asked to discuss?
Discuss means to provide points for and or against. You need to make sure that you address it in plural, because that's what it says. It means points for and or against, and you can do 1 point for, 1 point against, 2 points for or 2 points against. Make sure you address it in the plural form.
Excellent, okay. How about assess?
Assess means to make a judgment of value or quality based upon the content that you're referring to. So what you're saying is something's good or something's bad.
Okay, and similar to assess, but a little bit different, what about evaluate?
Evaluate is once again an assessment. This time it's based on criteria. So you have to actually provide criteria that you're saying with your evaluation. So therefore in legal studies, it could be whether concept achieves justice, or it could be whether resource efficiency is being used in order to address that.
Awesome, this is a really common question for HSC geography, and often we're asked to evaluate the effectiveness of certain strategies, and we always do it in terms of sustainability, whether it's achieving intergenerational or intra-generational equity. So those are really important. Make sure you include that when you're studying for the HSC. Tip number 7 is make sure that you stay active and you stay healthy while you're doing your exam. So to talk more about this, I'm joined with Miss Malineack.
Hey guys, so the first thing I want to talk about is what you are putting into your body. So you need to make sure you are choosing nutritious options so that you have all the energy you can. Try to limit those unhealthy snacks where possible. Hey, eat healthy. Second thing, think about your hydration. You need to be upping those water levels, decreasing the caffeine. Try to make the right switch there.
Make good choices.
What?
Third thing, think about your activity levels. It's really easy to fit in a walk where possible. Make it with friends, meet your friends, go for a walk around the block. Think about something you can be doing to increase in your activity levels. Breaks up your study time, really nice for your stress levels.
2, oh keep going, come on, push, go, keep going, 3, oh you can do it, one more, quick.
Okay, pushing. Let's go, sir. One last one.
It's raining.
Oh, the HSC doesn't care about the weather. Keep pushing.
There's a few easy tips so that you can make sure you keep a handle of your stress this exam period and get the most out of that study time. Thank you, Miss Malineack.
Thanks for having me, guys. Good luck.
Okay, so tip number 8 of our 8 top tips. Our last one is to teach other people what you've learned as a study technique.
It's really great to make notes and it's really great to go through those summaries. But if I say the best way to fully understand a topic is to actually teach it to somebody else. So if you've got a dog, if you've got a cat, if you've got a little brother who can be bribed with a bit of chocolate, sit them down, teach them all of your notes. And if you're able to put it into a way that someone can understand who doesn't know your content, then you've fully understood it yourself.
So these have been the 8 top tips for studying, as explained by a bunch of our superstar teachers here at Malineack. And if you use these study tips, you will find that you can really milk your study time for all of its worth. Is that a blooper? We better do this in like
Can I let you do
1 or 2 takes.
Are you upset? Are you?
Special guest now, which is
You've forgotten her name?
no, I just messed myself up. Is everyone's favourite English teacher? One of them.
Makes your skin like
Yeah.
flawless.
Your verbs. The verbs or the key terms that we're referring to include.
Things like...
I just taken over.
No, it was good. Do that.